Hey everybody, if you're wanting to get into old school essentials, you get this book right here, the Classic Fantasy Rules Tome. That's all you really need starting out, and then maybe you can get the advanced one if you want. And get this adventure. It's The Hole in the Oak by Gavin Norman, who of course created Old School Essentials. It's a fantastic adventure, which I'm about to spoil should you continue to watch. I'm going to tell you all about this adventure and why I like it so much. I think this is just an absolutely fantastic adventure for any OSR game. If you play basic D&D or anything, try to pick this up if you can. It's highly recommended by me. There it is, The Hole in the Oak. A hole in an old oak tree leads characters down to a maze of twisted, root-riddled passageways, the chambers of an ancient wizard complex, and the banks of an underground river where once a reptile cult built their temples, a classic dungeon adventure for characters of first to second level. And like it says you need to have classic fantasy or advanced fantasy. I'd go with classic. I like classic a lot. But Advanced has got its perks too. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Of course, I'll have a link down in the description if you want to pick up the PDF, or I will send you over to, Exalted Funerals website where you can pick up this physical copy right here. You can get the hardback version of it. I love these. $15 is what it cost me. And you get such a great adventure. I got it at my local store, and they have a thing where you can get the PDF as well. So I just really dig it. We got a fun cover. It may seem a little weird. You got these like evil babies here, and you got this like Buddha-looking statue. It's going to all make sense once you take a look. But look at this. Right when you open it up, just look. Boom, you got your map. It's showing you locked doors, where the monsters are, the area numbers. It's fantastic. This is a very neat map. You start off over here in number 1, obviously, in the Hole in the Oak. And I'm going to go through a little bit more detail than that. But then right off the bat, you come to number 2, and you have to go either up or to the right. And it just is cool that right away, it's just going to change the way that you flow in this dungeon, right? And the thing about this dungeon is that there are multiple type of factions. You've got ghouls, troglodytes. You've got these sheep fawns, which are hilariously awesome. You have, right off the bat, you've got these root faces. So if you take a right, you've got these root faces, and you can ask them questions, and they'll answer it. You have to give them stuff. But it's a cool way to go ahead and learn knowledge about this dungeon, okay? So you've got bats, and I call this the carrot right here, which is kind of fun. Fire beetles, an evil stump. There's gnomes. They worship the evil stump. They're really, really neat as well. Figments, an ogre, a shadow, tree babies. You saw them right here. Tree babies. A white, and lizards. And then you've got this cool underground river going with some waterfalls. Let's go ahead and dive deeper into it. Love this art here. It's kind of, it's kind of comical a little bit. It's a little cartoony, but it works. It really does. So we've got all our listed dungeon areas, and this is the same layout that we've known. If you looked at my other videos for Old School Essential videos, you'll see that this is all the same, of course, because it works so well. It's going to tell you about the mythic underworld. It's a subterranean realm, and it says there are danger and adventure to be found. It's not a place that makes sense. It says it is a realm of perplexing mystery and dream logic. So that's interesting. And of course, it could be anywhere, just in a wild forest where this adventure could be. It says the region is referred to in the text as the magical forest. So we've got an adventure overview. Really, there's not much to this. We're going to have this tree with a hole in it. And of course, you're very curious, and you're going to want to check out that tree with its hole. But there's a little bit more history going on to it. You have a wizard. You've got a reptile cultists, and you've got what's called the White League. They're hunters and rangers. They're protectors of the magical forest and historical foes of the reptile cult that plague the lands. So it's a little bit of history here. They have some things that, there's an insignia of the White League as a stag's head with ivy woven into its antlers. There's unanswered mysteries. There's some chess pieces, mysterious jars. There is Nolly. A note claims that Nolly is the owner of the dungeon. Who is Nolly? Black skeletons, which are very interesting. They're inert guardian skeletons, stand watch in several areas. And there's actually things in this adventure that you can turn on. One of those being the black skeletons, of course, which is a doozy. There's a lost glove and boots. Their matching gloves and boots could be found, abandoned. So there's these cool mysteries that are involved in this adventure. Then you have different factions, like I spoke about. You have the heretic gnomes, mutagenic ogre, the sheep-headed fawns, the troglodytes, and the river ghouls. And then it tells you about their different relationships, and it shows you what areas they're in. Again, this gives you that just great Old School Essentials, fantastic layout that gets you playing quickly. Not much preparation at all for this adventure. There is underground river. It's going to tell you how you have to deal with that if you're going to swim in it or use a boat. There are some rumors, and again, it's with false and partly true with P's. This is very helpful as well. Some cool. All the pieces of art you see are going to be something that's in the adventure, so that's helpful to use and to show your players. And then again, it's going to show you where all the treasure is, where the area is, and what treasure that is. And we've got a lot of stuff here: potion of visibility. We've got a bunch of stuff, obviously, that's worth a lot. A dagger +1, healing fruits, silver swords, monkey statuettes, lizard repellent, chainmail +1, it's gnome size, and a shield +1. A lot of stuff, a lot of cool things here. And I love the fact that you can keep up with what treasure you have found, and it tells you the total value of the treasure at there at the bottom. Fantastic. And then, of course, this is one of the first adventures I got for Old School Essentials, and this is where I kind of like got introduced to how they put you where you are. Like when you start off, number 1, the dungeon entrance, and then number 2, you're gonna go to the junction. And they're gonna tell you stuff that may be based off smell. And that's going to get you maybe to go a different way, or maybe there's lighting, better lighting down a certain passageway that may thrust you one way or another. And it was interesting when I played this, the players actually went south. I thought they would go north, so it's kind of like a interesting thing of like which way will they go? Where will they be enticed to go? They're going to deal with some grabbing roots. They're going to try to grab them. And then you're going to get into those things I was telling you about, the faces of the deep. And they'll have information for you as long as you give them valuables. And it's going to help you understand stuff like the sheephead's treasure is guarded in a room of horrors, or the gnomes are guardians of a secret god with great power. Somewhat true. Forgotten treasures lie buried by the river. So it's very neat. And this is a very cool thing because they're faces that are going to come out of this mossy kind of roots and stuff. They're going to come out. You could really role play these faces in a really interesting way. Well, my players, they just kept on trucking east, and then they got into the carrot. That's what I call that. I call that the carrot. It looks like a carrot to me. And I drew a map of it, and I tried to make sure I didn't show them where some places were, secret passages and stuff like that. And then I had them draw it, which was fun to see the difference in what I was drawing, what my art was, what the art was that I had for the map, and what theirs was. And so, should they go up here, they're going to get into these sheep fawns. Very interesting place with these kind of fancy sheep-headed fawns. They have different names, different things that they're kind of about, whether they're docile or suspicious. They have drug tea, so they're going to try to drug you. And it's just a neat, right off the bat, it could be a neat encounter with some cool role-playing with these sheep-headed fawns. They may try to kill you, use that tea to knock you out. It says sleeping victims will be stripped, bound up in Area 9, and devoured in 1d4 days. So yeah, you're going to get eaten by them. But maybe you can talk to them, figure out what their actual plan is. And it's just a neat way, right off the bat, to have an interesting role-playing encounter as you go around the area. So again, we've got our little map section here. It helps you flip to it very quickly. I love this. It's fantastic. Now, I'm not going to go through everything, obviously, but there is a couple things I'm going to hit on. There is a teleport circle that's interesting. You could become very tiny. There's tiny people in it. It's got there inside the jar is a tiny dead person. There's a lot of like questionable things and strange things the player's going to come across in this adventure. There is the hunter. Now, the hunter is nasty. It's a spectral hunter that can be awoken, and it will hunt you down, the players down, well, the characters down, as they traverse this dungeon. He's got some spectral hounds as well, but there are a couple of clues to let you know, hey, watch out when it comes to that statue of the hunter and his 2 hounds. So it's just a neat thing that may or may not even happen when you run this adventure, should they be weary of it. So I like that. There's things that, like I said, they turn on and they turn off, whether or not, based off of the characters and how they interact with their environment. There is a giant crab spider. You've got these troglodytes. I love this piece of art here, how they are. This is up the north area with these ghouls and troglodytes. You're going to have stuff like the treasure and pit. A lot of water up there. And you're going to have stuff like a lot of secret stashes. There are a lot of cool little secret things here and there. The secret stash in 17. And look how easy that is just to see you're not going to go too far from the page from where you're at, either on the map or maybe the piece of art. You may have to go back to see one of them. But really neat little section there. Troglodytes, of course, are nasty. Ghouls are going to be nasty. You've got this Ghoul Bay in 19. It's a natural cavern, so you'll have some natural cavern stuff there. Very cool. You've got a half-devoured corpse. There is a moored rowing boat that can help you traverse the underground river. There's a lot of like little things that are like written on the walls and give you little hints and stuff at maybe the past. We've got a blade trap here. We've got Hall of the Kings, which has got a bunch of statues of ancient kings. We have some weeping statues. There is a control room that's got some levers that you're going to have to pull or push or whatever, and it's going to do different things in the dungeon. So you're going to kind of affect stuff here and there. Very interesting as well. Then you've got the Ogre's Den. So this mutagenic ogre, he's snoring, he's asleep, he's got diseased flesh, bulging eyes, one larger than another. He's got keys on a chain that you kind of need. It says that opens the door to the room, plus the cages that he's got, because inside the cages are these mutants, these caged mutants. And they're just going to break out and try to kill you unless you feed them some food. You're going to have a lot of fun pretty much with each one of these different factions. It's going to play out differently every time you run it with different people, I think. And you'll see how they're going to try to get through this area or deal with certain foes. So we've got that area there, and they're going to go up into the Shadow Gardener. And it's got like a humanoid form. It tends to the plants. Again, you're going to have your stats here. It's got Strength Drain, which is nasty. Because you're starting to get here in this number 28 here. There's a lot of large black plants that it's going to be kind of watching over. Black thorned ivy, black fruits. It's just going to be a black shadow. It makes sense. Shadow Garden. And here he is right here. So you've got this cool little art to help you visualize and show your players these cool areas. There's this whole subterranean jungle. That's where you're going to find these evil tree babies with this giant bronze statue. And there's, the evil tree babies are funny. They're chubby, it says, and happy, glowing eyes, needle fangs. They're vicious. Their reaction: peek down at PCs from the treetops, defend the chalice. There is a chalice there that they're going to defend. You're going to be able to unearth some cool items here. Some of the magical items and some of the treasure is going to be there as well. There's not really like a end boss thing in this adventure. That's kind of interesting. You've got this hidden crypt here. It's got a little bit of a story of stuff from the past with this Jorg the Defiler, who is a white, which of course those are nasty as can be. Energy Drain, of course. You'll be able to explore that. And there is a really cool Azure Serpent Blade. It is a +1 to attack and damage. It grants the wielder the ability to breathe water. Very helpful. It's going to tell you a little bit about the history of it as well, should you able to get it. We've got a bat's roost. There's doors that have faces on them. It's very kind of lively, this place, right? And every once in a while, you'll have these black skeletons that'll be in rooms. Things that you do that have done may have gotten them activated, and they're fairly nasty. And that they're kind of all throughout the dungeon. If you haven't activated them, your players may be very curious about them, not wanting to really interact with them, but just kind of afraid of them. So it kind of gives this notion of fear throughout the rooms where these black skeletons are, even though they haven't been activated. Now, you've got this interesting thing here with this battle. It's pretty much like an illusionary battle. Figments, you've got like a giant lizard man and a warrior. They're going to be fighting each other, and there's going to be some moments here with these figments where you're not going to know exactly what's going on, and how the players react are going to be interesting. Whether or not they help somebody out or not. You can join the battle, and if the lizard man is killed, the warrior whispers to the PCs they stole the sword, saved Jorg across the river. So things kind of attach to themselves. It attaches to a different section with like this section here with Jorg the Defiler. So they kind of lead to one piece of the puzzle to another of this dungeon. Fire beetles. There's this dripping grotto here. Always like fire beetles. They're just cool to describe and pretty visual here. There's holes and crevices. Very neat. I believe there's a picture somewhere where they are putting their hands into the... Where is it? I'm trying to remember where all these pictures are. It might be back. Yeah, there it is. There it is. There's these holes that you can put your hand in and try to pull out stuff. It reminds me of Flash Gordon. you might grab an item, but your hand might be mutated permanently. It's very, very interesting little, really kind of like a reward and a trap in one. So very neat. It's going to kind of push their curiosity. It's going to probably backfire on somebody, especially when they get a hand that's zombie-like. They could get a claw attack as it becomes hairy and clawed, or bird-like talon, or it could ooze violet slime. So very interesting. You've got some lizards. These are big lizards, giant lizards that you're going to be able to. They'll be in throughout this area here. Attack them. There's a lizard shrine. It's of a lizard god altar. And there's some stuff that's kind of hidden in there as well. And I said there's treasure hidden all throughout it. Stuff is hidden throughout the different rooms. Then you got this lizard bay. It's going to show you more of the lizards. Again, like number 47. I just love these little cutout sections of the map. So helpful when you're running this. Maybe they want to go down the waterfall. It's going to be pretty neat. They see a guy that's a fishing gnome. They're going to see him, and maybe he's going to take off. Let's say they haven't gone to the dome area. This might be the first way that they interact with the gnomes, and this guy's going to kind of take off. So you're going to be like, what's with these gnomes? And that's when you're going to come to the gnome section. This gnome section is very interesting. They give a name, sex, and age, and a trait about them. And they all have these hats, and underneath the hat could be a special item. Maybe it's a flask of whiskey, maybe it's a map to an ancestral warren, or a black pear that heals 1d3 hit points. So these heretic gnomes are very interesting. Once again, they are a group that they worship an evil tree stump. You can have a really interesting time interacting with them, role playing with them. They are watching down the hallway here, and you can possibly get on their good side. They're going to try to lure you in, and then they're probably going to try to attack you and kill you, and or take you to their evil stump god. So this whole area here is full of gnomeness, and it's just a fun way to interact. Here it's the leaders, Grim and Gribble. These are kind of like the heads of the gnomes, and they're going to spring an attack at you at some point. There is some little bit of some intrigue about what their future is. They're kind of looking at some maps and stuff whenever you find them in one of the rooms. They are maybe trying to take over other sections of the dungeon. You're going to fight in the evil tree stump, hopefully, and take it on. It's got a good bit of hit points, and it can kind of charm people. So that's interesting. Command someone to obey. You get some saving throws off of that. But it's just a neat section with some interesting things that will be foes. So one thing that's nice is this expanding the dungeon. What's beyond the waterfall? The crypt level in Area 3-2 may just be the beginning of a larger complex, and then upstream, traveling upstream is going to lead you to, if you have the adventure, the incandescent grottos, which I do have that adventure, and I will be doing a video on that as well. So it's kind of like a second part to this adventure where you can continue on from here through traveling upstream into that other adventure. So that's just really neat, because once you get this one, you'll want to get the other one and tie them both together, which is just really fun. And here's those evil babies there, of course, where that statue is, that big statue. So at the end here, we have our random happenings. It's going to tell you what happened whenever you roll up the hunter, whenever the hunter is activated and awoken. Different events that can happen all throughout the place. Maybe a hideous gurgling laugh echoes through the dungeon. Maybe a small purple lizard scurries along the wall, burping Kezek. And a random character spots a 1-foot-tall silver gnome pop its head around a corner and wave. Other characters do not see this. So there's just a really neat sense of oddity down there as you're exploring this dungeon. And again, you've got more of them here. Some things you may come across you might need to fight. The ghouls, maybe the giant crab spider or giant fire beetles. So it's a big events that's a mixture of random encounters of combat and just kind of weird things that are happening down in this dungeon. And that's it. I guess you could say that the ogre is kind of the boss, but the hunter is kind of a boss as well. This is just a absolutely fantastic adventure. It's one I would tell you to start playing Old School Essentials with. It is very quick to get up and going. Just because of the way that the Old School Essentials does its layout, how it gives you information. There's not a whole bunch of story going on. You need to learn the relationship between the gnomes and the ogre and the fawns and stuff. But it's just interesting that within this area here, we've got troglodytes, we've got the fawns, we've got the gnomes. And you might want to say, well, what are they doing with them? And how's this all work, this kind of like civilization that's in this dungeon. So it's kind of fun to have different things, different themes within the dungeon. and I just absolutely really dig it. This would be the adventure I run to show people basic D&D, to show them old school essentials. And just in its own right, with its fun writing, its cool rooms, its interesting kind of weird vibe it has, these cool events, the hunter, it's just excellent. I cannot, like I said, I would give this, if I had a rating scale, this would be top of the rating scale. It would get a very high rating. I do enjoy the art. It's cartoony. It may not be for everybody, but I think it works. It's fun to play maybe with younger players. And it's wild, but it is nasty. It can kill you. The troglodytes, the ghouls. Ghouls are nasty. This is no like kid's glove adventure. It's still got a lot of death. It has a lot of foes and traps, but a lot of cool exploration, as well as some neat things to uncover, some stories, some ancient stories that are going on in history of this place that you can really have a lot of fun with. It's a fantastic adventure. That's all there is to it. So thanks a lot for watching this video. As always, stay tuned for the next one, and I'll see you then. Thank you.